The idea to produce a comic book for the first MK game, that started with me. Coming from comic books, I had a great desire to sort of tell this story that we weren't able to tell in the game. And so I thought, what better place to do it in a comic book? I talked to Ed about it, and so Ed thought it was a great idea, and I think the both of us went to Roger Sharp to try to see if there was any money that we could get from marketing to help us produce this comic book.
I tried to always do stuff that I thought would be special, and John, pulled together, here's a comic book.
I wasn't getting paid anything extra to draw this comic, so I wrote the story and did the illustrations. Roger was able to scrape up, I think, a few $1,000s for the printing, and we were able to produce a few thousand copies of this comic, and we weren't sure how many we were going to sell. There was an advertisement in the game, and players would see the advertisement in the track mode, and they would mail in a check for $3. Sometimes they would mail cash. Ed and I would get bags of envelopes, sent to a P.O. box, and they would ship us these boxes of comics. Okay, well, who's gonna pack and mail these things? And so there was nobody to do that. So Ed and I ended up sitting in his office with boxes of comics. We were the ones opening each envelope, collecting the money, writing the addresses on the envelopes, packing the comics, and mailing them all out. I remember we did that one weekend. It was just Ed and I. And then we decided we invited other people around the office, like, hey, come and help us pack the comics, and we'll buy a pizza. Every once in a while, I would sign one. We would write these weird encryptions on the envelopes. Sometimes I would draw a picture on the envelope, little messages to the players. I don't know if anybody ever saved any of that stuff. But eventually, I think we were in over our heads because the stuff just kept coming.
And sales took off. We had to go back in and reprint the comic book.
And then eventually Roger, I think, handled, I don't know who he paid to do the packing and the mailing and stuff.
We were packaging and boxing up, thank you, Jeanette and Alice, to get everything out to people.
But the first, I think, few thousand comic books were hand packed and hand addressed by, Ed and myself and a couple of the other folks around the office.
And that was the start of the merchandising program for Mortal Kombat